Hey everyone, today we're going to dive into a tool that's trying to do something pretty radical, actually fix our remote work lives. If you've ever ended a day of video calls feeling completely drained, then you're going to want to stick around for this. We're looking at a platform called Nonilion and its huge promise to finally end Zoom fatigue.
I mean, let's be real for a second. Are you just so tired of this? Staring at that same grid of faces day in and day out? Trying to figure out when it's your turn to talk and then accidentally interrupting someone anyway? It's somehow become the default way we work, but is it really working for us? Or is it just exhausting?
So first things first, let's really dig into the core problem here. The thing that Nonilion was specifically built to solve. This widespread burnout we're all feeling from our digital meetings.
And these symptoms? I think we all know them a little too well. You've got the low engagement, where you can just tell nobody's really there. You ask a question and you're met with that painful, awkward silence. And oh, the friction of constantly jumping between different apps. You're on Zoom for the call, then you're trying to find a link in Slack, then you're pulling up a whiteboard in Miro. It all just piles up into this soul-crushing exhaustion by the end of the day.
So what's Nonilion's big answer to all this? Well, this quote right here, it just nails it. The whole point isn't to be a slightly better version of Zoom. No way. The idea is to completely change the game, to create a gamified virtual workspace that brings back that feeling of spontaneity, that aliveness that we've totally lost.
Okay, so a gamified workspace. It sounds cool, but what does that actually look like as a solution? Let's take a look at how Nonilion pulls this off. All right, so what exactly is a gamified virtual workspace? I want you to imagine like an old school video game from back in the day, but instead of a fantasy world, it's your office. You get your own little customizable avatar, and you use your keyboard to move around this interactive map. It's got this really cool kind of retro 8-bit vibe that's just fun right off the bat. The whole point is to make it interactive and engaging from the second you log in. And you know, getting started is surprisingly fast. Like you can set up your entire virtual office and get your team in there in less than 15 minutes. Moving around is super intuitive. Just use your arrow keys or click with your mouse. But here's the real genius, the big mental shift. You're not just passively joining a call anymore. You are actively going to a place to work with your team. It's a small change in words, but it makes a huge difference. But what really truly makes this whole thing work, the thing that makes it a total game changer, is the audio. We have to talk about how spatial audio works because honestly, this is where the magic really happens.
This is it. The single most important feature in Nonilion is spatial audio. And look, this isn't some silly gimmick. It's the core technology that's designed to make online conversations feel, well, human again. It's all about mimicking how we actually talk and listen in the real world.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. Think about a regular video call. It's basically a one-room shouting match. Either everyone hears everything you say or you're on mute. It's why we're always talking over each other. But with spatial audio, the sound is based on proximity. As your little avatar moves closer to someone, they get louder. As you move away, they get quieter and fade out. This one simple thing allows for natural side conversations, for little whispers, all the stuff that's totally impossible on a standard call. So let me just walk you through a real-world example of this. Imagine a team of 4 starting a meeting at a main table. A couple of minutes in, 2 of them realize they need to have a quick side chat. So they just move their avatars over to a little breakout nook on the map. As they walk away, their audio just naturally fades out for the other 2 people. And then, boom. They can have their own focused private chat, pull up a whiteboard, and figure things out, all without ever clicking a Create Breakout Room button. It's just seamless.
Okay, the tech is really impressive. I get it. But what about the price tag? Especially for small teams, solopreneurs. You know, this is where the story gets really, really compelling. Let's talk about the money.
All right, let's just do some quick math here. For a small team, let's say 5 users. You're probably paying around $1,300 a year for Zoom Pro. Then you add another $600 for a whiteboarding tool like Miro. That's almost $2,000 every single year. Now compare that to Nonilion's lifetime deal on AppSumo, a single one-time payment of $49.
Let that sink in for a second. That is a savings of over $1,800 in the first year alone. That's real money you can put back into your business. And since it's a lifetime deal, you save that much again the next year and the year after that. I mean, the value here is just massive.
Let me just say it again so it's crystal clear. $49. Once. You pay it and you are done. No more subscription anxiety, no more recurring fees for your main collaboration hub. For anyone who's just sick of software subscriptions, this is a total game changer. And you know, that one-time price unlocks so much more than just a meeting tool. You get these persistent 24/7 rooms. It becomes a real digital office that you can just drop in on. It's got a built-in AI assistant that'll summarize your meetings for you. And you can embed all your other tools, like Trello or Google Docs, right onto the map. Everything you need is finally in one place. So, after all that, the big question remains, who is this really for? Because while it's a super powerful tool, it's definitely designed with a specific kind of person or team in mind. Let's break that down.
Look, based on the features, and especially that insane lifetime deal, Nonilion is an absolute no-brainer for solopreneurs, for coaches, for consultants, really any small agile remote team. We're talking especially teams with fewer than 5 people. If you care more about engagement and having a fun, collaborative culture than you do about corporate formality, this thing was pretty much made for you. But hey, let's be balanced here. No tool is perfect, right? The pros are huge. The engagement and fun factor is off the charts. The collaboration just flows so much better, and that zero recurring cost is incredible. On the flip side, the user interface is still a little new and maturing. The whole gamey vibe might not fly with your super formal corporate clients, and you definitely need a solid internet connection on a desktop for the best experience.
But at the end of the day, I think it all comes back to this feeling right here. This quote really does sum up the whole point of Nonilion. It's about taking this thing that has become such a chore, the remote meeting, and making it feel not just productive, but actually joyful again.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. By gamifying our digital workspace, a tool like Nonilion is kind of challenging us to rethink what productivity even looks like. So maybe it is time to bring a little bit of play back into our workday, something to think about.